What is this that surrounds me? Allah's loving arms. What is this upholds me? Allah's hand. The controversy, the controversy, the controversy, the controversy, the controversy, the controversy, the controversy. We're talking about the controversy, the controversy, the controversy, the controversy, the controversy, the controversy, the controversy. What is this? Today we're talking about the controversy. The controversy, the controversy. The chief minister ain't this. The chief minister that. I didn't form nothing. Nothing. All I did was continue what was trying to be discontinued. 1995, Supreme Grand Council that is, stood up and say the proper grand body is no more. And I said, no, Joe, that won't go. No, Joe, that won't go. That won't go here. And I said I would continue on. They said, well, brother, right here, we're going to make you a supreme member of the Supreme Grand Council. I say, all is well with that idea. Well, guess what? The grand body still is. The grand body still is the controversy. The controversy, the controversy. The controversy, the controversy. The controversy, the controversy. We're talking about the controversy. The controversy, the controversy. The controversy, the controversy. The controversy, the controversy. What is this? Today we're talking about the controversy. The controversy, the controversy. The chief minister ain't this. The chief minister that. I didn't form nothing. Nothing. All I did was continue what was trying to be discontinued. 1995, Supreme Grand Council that is, stood up and say the proper grand body is no more. And I said, no, Joe, that won't go. No, Joe, that won't go. That won't go here. And I said I will continue on. They said, well, brother, right here, we're going to make you a supreme member of the Supreme Grand Council. I said, all is well with that idea. Well, guess what? The grand body still, but the grand body still is the controversy. The controversy, the controversy. The controversy, the controversy. The controversy, the controversy. We're talking about the controversy. The controversy, the controversy. The controversy, the controversy. The controversy, the controversy. What is this round? What is this that surrounds me? Allah's loving arms. What is this upholds me? Allah's hand.
Get down. Islam! I rise here perfect praises to Allah. And give honors to Allah made manifest his strength, his attributes, his character. And our holy prophet too, I believe. Islam, Islam, Islam. Bismillah, Bismillah, Bismillah. Whoa! Another day for truth be told. Let's see if them cowards gonna come on. Let's see what's going on. You know, brother said he's gonna be knocking at my door. You gotta knock. I'll be waiting for you. The brother governor. Anybody come on in yet, man?
Just our brother.
Just our brother. Okay. Now I want to talk to y'all about the danger of the stuff that we see. Now I'm gonna show you the cigar. Here, show that guy there. Oh, show him. Do you see that guy? Do y'all remember that guy? Now this guy here says the law for Moors in America don't drive around with paperwork. They have a state-issued driver's license to stay in accordance with not only the state law but the Moors law as well. The paperwork didn't stop him from receiving tickets, etc. Now I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm gonna show some pictures of these other guys walking around with their guns and, you know, talking about the governors. Let me see, what is this guy? He calls himself the governor. You know, he's hooked up with one of my homies by the name of Cannon Bay up there in Chicago. Now I can use this guy here as a prime example. This Mo that was in the truck. Y'all had to see him. He's on television and everything. He dead now. He dead now. Because he got more and more into that nutty stuff that they teach. All this sovereignty stuff, you know, you got the right to do this, and we this and that. We make up our own government. You know, we woo, 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 woo. And they're not even in the temple. Now check that. Now, some years back, this guy, they pulled him over, and they had a big camera on and stuff. Yeah, you know, I'm Moorish American. I don't have to do that. I'm a Moorish American. And he's talking all this crazy stuff. Now, I'm trying to see if I see a quick picture. So anyway, this particular Moorish American had himself set up, and he was fighting. Here we go. This brother name here is Governor Oswald, Governor Osifel. Now, you know, these are the brothers running around the country talking about, you want to become part of our government? You want to become part of this? And so, y'all have this, you know, y'all show good pictures, y'all with big guns, and y'all show everything but property y'all own. Anybody can get a car and draw that stuff on it. Anybody can go out there and get a white car and draw a sign, I am the Colombo. I am the gangster. I am this and that. Now, the big thing in Chicago now is that the brothers set the woman on fire on the train. Another big thing, the brothers are downtown Chicago by the Chicago Theater, was off State and Randolph, shooting each other. But this brother said, he's going to come down here with me because I'm an agent. And my brother told me that in Detroit. I'll never forget that. Brother came up there with Food Crate Band. We was talking, and the brother said, yes, you was an agent. I said, if I am, I work for Allah. I never heard that before. I said, because you don't work for Allah. And they just looked at me. I never heard nobody say, I said, you an agent, brother. I said, yeah, I work for Allah. I never heard that before because you don't work for Allah. How you gonna know something about Allah if you ain't working for him? You ain't over there with him. You can't. You got empty prayers. You wait till y'all get together on Friday and Sunday, or y'all got a special occasion. You say, Allah, Father, you don't even say it right. All you gotta do is stop and look at them when they sing. When you can't sing, and 500-600 of y'all, and y'all can't sing, you know one thing I noticed? You can sound bad like hell, but you get people in the same room singing the same song, it don't sound like that. It doesn't sound bad because everybody hitting the right note somewhere. But if you don't have the spirit and love of the song that you're singing, let me tell you, you ain't gonna sound like nothing. Oh yeah, Father of the universe. Oh yeah. When that saints go marching. Well, listen, you make somebody want to shoot you. I mean, sometimes I hear boys be singing, I just had a gun, I would shoot him. The best side of the roof would be the bang. Think about that. So, they challenged me and I challenged them. I said, well, brothers, this is what we're going to do. Let's have an intelligent conversation about what you think the prophet taught and what I know the prophet. I'm going to go from what the prophet said. The divine instruction from the holy prophet. I'm going from what he said. I'm using what he said orally, etc. Y'all don't think I had a government without paying taxes. You know? So you can get some people with some pistols. You know, you can form your own security force. I did it one time. You can do all that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. My that's a good idea. Especially live in a drug-infested neighborhood. I was up there in Baltimore, the dope dealers all on the side of the building trying to sell dope. Listen, give us a week here, bro. I said, give us a week here, brother. Well, who are y'all? We more. Woo. I did let them peep some of the stuff we had, so they know we ready. We be in the building, you be out the building. Think who got the best of things. So anyway, y'all got to think about that. Y'all misleading these people. Brother called me today, trying to get his paperwork for the Moore Scientific American. Called me twice. I told him, said, brother, go on our website, look at our video, come our video, read some of our stuff, then call us back and we'll talk about, you know, why I got to do it. Well, brother, because I want you to see there is a difference. Everybody say they're more and more. But I want you to see there's a difference. We don't teach that funny stuff. You know, sovereignty, hickory, dickory, dock, you know, or zodiac, and none of that. So I hung the phone. He said, okay. He called me back 5 minutes. I said, no, you ain't looked at that. I know some of y'all might be thinking I'm lying, but let me play it for you. I know why people might call it because I record their calls. Ain't that something? I know what the government do to y'all. Okay, let me see. Is this the call? All right, here we go. Ain't no paperwork. What you talking about, John? Ain't no paperwork to become a Moorish American. Okay. Wait a minute, let me get back farther than that. All right. I'm very familiar with the prophet Jew, Ali. And I know that I'm native to this land. I'm from Mississippi. My people is Choctaw. I don't know if you tell me to go watch it, but I know I feel Lord have an answer, you know. I was just trying to get information on how to proclaim my nationality. And how do I get the paperwork? Ain't no paperwork. What you talking about, John? Ain't no paperwork to become a Moorish American. Okay, because I was reading on this, I seen a video where it was a website. I asked you to watch our website so that you can learn better. You didn't want to do that, but you tell me about what you watched on somebody else's website. I can't tell you about that.
Because that's not our website. There's no such thing as paperwork to come aboard Samaria. Point blank period. Prophet, know what y'all mean? So I know you don't know that much. Yeah, you right. My bad. You gonna read it.
Now I asked him and tell him, I say, go look at our stuff because I want you to make an intelligent decision. I want you to put your 5 senses on this conversation and come up with an intelligent decision. We don't beg nobody to join us. We ain't promised you no sky in the pie. No pie in the sky, wherever that is. We're not telling you, you're going to be part of the Moorish government. Where is Moorish government? Listen. They ain't got a pot of piss in no window to throw it out. They're in a building up there in Chicago, if they got one, or still have it. And that's it. There's no police department building up there. I can do all that in my house. I got a building. I can take a room in there and make it for the police department, another room in there for recorders. I can do all that. And I still be like them, having nothing, masturbating at the mouth. So I asked the brother, come on the show. We're talking to us. Let us talk about what you know or what you think you know. Is that somebody? It's a doggone shame on the internet. You talking all this rhetoric, civics and all that there. But I can read the prophet stuff and say he changed it from a civic organization. Well, it says a recorded deed office. Y'all niggas are so, I'm sure how dumb you is. The recorded deed office where you record everything you do in the city, in that county. So the recorder offers of deeds and stuff, y'all think it's a land thing. Yeah, the trust. You got that guy, I call him Wine Love Ill. Him and his mama, they out of Chicago, at least they was. I remember it was over there with Braswell Bay. I left the temple in 96. That's when they joined. After I left. And then Braswell Bay made him a sheet. His mom was just sitting up there screwing everybody for a little chump change. And then Braswell Bay, brother called me, man, Sister Loveville was in the temple, all been up on the table over there in the temple. I said, what? I said, Mo, come on. Say, yeah, then I was talking to this brother up there, Sims Hill. He's supposed to be the head of the More Scientific America 2000, 10/10/59/95. But then they added something else to the prophet's teaching. And he was telling me, wait a minute, Mo, I want you to listen to this here. I said, okay. I'm listening to the brother and his mama try to charge Braswell Bay with sexing her. And she know he was married. So she run around the city telling everybody he screwed her and didn't pay her like he said. He didn't make her a sheikah like he said. So anyway, Braswell Bay kicked the brother out the temple. And I said, Braswell Bay, how you kick this man out of the temple without a trial because he is an addict? I said, addicts have the right to a trial. You just can't kick him out the temple. He said, I didn't want my wife here. Wait a minute, Mo. Your wife ain't been in the temple since I left you. I remember at 9:57 when your wife started coming to the temple because you sexed that little nurse girl. She left you back then because she's a 7-day event. She didn't divorce you. That's the only time I see your children in the temple doing convention time, and they doing this and that, helping you out. Now his daughters are models and stuff, and doing her OnlyFans stuff. So the sister got pregnant in the hospital. He abandoned her. About 10, 15 years ago, the brother said his mama died. He was trying to find his daddy. His name is Emmanuel Braswell Bay Jr. He contacted me. I said, I gave the man his number. So he go to your daddy. Hell, Bradford Bay got mad at me because I gave the boy, his son, his number. He's supposed to be upright, independent, and fearless. Bradford Bay folks stand on the truth. How you gonna love this faulty man? You can't take care of your own children. Willful. So that's one reason why he can't stand me. The brother said his mama died. He wanted to talk to his daddy. And I gave him his daddy's phone number. And then I did a brass so they changed it. You know, we have a thing. We're lying on the prophet far too much. I remember one time I used to call me and brother Mr. Cannon Bay used to talk with each other. You know, he tried to show me that stuff. And I'm like, you know, I'm not like these other guys. I study. Listen, I studied. I can't remember all the books I studied, but I remember most of the stuff I studied. I've been all across this country. I said before, Buddhists, Christians, etc. And still, when we debated, I mean, one woman said, "How do you know my Bible better than me?" And I went to a theologian college. We was on a television program. When it came to the commercial, they talked, said, "How do you know my Bible better than me?" So I went to a theologian college and graduated. I said, I graduated with God. God leads me. God let me see what you're saying. So now I guess that's why these brothers don't want to. They talk to me via the internet. They can throw some words and run, but they don't come on. Now that brother that I showed you in the truck, I think about 2-3 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, he stacked up the guns. When the police came, him and the police had a shootout and he lost. But he ain't the only one. Listen, y'all might remember this sister some 10, 15 years ago. She had a simple traffic ticket. Listen. And she was taught that sovereignty stuff. Whack, 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 whack. And so she didn't go to court and stuff. So they put out a warrant for arrest. She's at the house with her baby, with one of her baby daddies, I guess, and her baby. The police come to the door. She says she's not going to let them take her, arrest her, so she has a shootout with the police. They kill her. Now her boyfriend crawled through the window, escaped out the back. But they killed her. That's 2 murders on y'all. Teaching that foolishness, making it seem real. See, our people are thirsty. They grab on anything. When you drown, you grab on anything. You'll grab on a big brick and it'll take you down, but you grab it on it because of fear of loss of your life. Y'all teaching is dumb to showing pictures and stuff. Y'all don't show no pictures y'all arresting nobody. Brother told me, yeah, we arrest people. Who you arrest? You didn't arrest nobody on the west side of Chicago. There's crime going on around. There's no temple in America where crime ain't going around except for an empty lot. Yeah, they tell you quickly. Martin Luther King was a pacifist, but every Martin Luther King block in every city, somebody getting hurt. I want y'all to stop following these dumb people. There is no government. There is no Moorish government. Although the prophet declared something, but because they tore it up, it no longer exists. It's something that could exist if Moors did the right thing. That's why it doesn't exist. Because Moors, you said everyone we're white like everybody, and y'all sit up there, yeah, we white together. Where your wives at with all this white on? How you ever to fall to humanity? You know so much about the prophet. How come you know the part the prophet said, taken to thyself a wife, obey the orders of Allah, taken to thyself a wife, obey, become a productive member of society? Now, this is what the prophet is saying. Why don't you have a wife? Not a girlfriend, not a concubine, but a wife. A lawful and legal partner. Whether that marriage lasts or not, she's your partner legally and lawfully. The prophet, Noble Ali, said the brother Glover Hill, who was a governor, he told him, if you don't get yourself a wife, I'm going to remove you from office. The prophet also told that to Hill. He said, brother Meat, if you don't get yourself a wife, I'm going to separate you from the temple. Guess what? Hill, through the prophet's persuasion, got married to Sister Deli Brown Bay, who now is called Sister D. Hill. May Allah be pleased with they good, both of them. But the prophet said, you don't get yourself a wife, how long it take you? A year. You don't have to have, listen. I'm up there in Detroit, and the brother told me what the prophet said. You know, she should suit your fancy, brother, right here. Now I'm talking to a chairman. Imagine I'm debating with a chairman. The debate started like this. Yeah, brother, I heard you say the prophet had 2 wives. I said, yes, he did. Well, when they try, I said, hold on, bro, let's do it like this here. How many wives y'all got? Ooh. Parker Bay said his wife died. He 90-something, so he ain't got another wife. So everybody in the room started looking strange. I said, here goes my wife with me. Where your wife at? You know, the brother told me, well, brother right here, the prophet said that she should suit your fancy and stuff. I said, okay, brother, I heard all that. Now I'm gonna ask you this, bro. How many children you got by this woman? I got 3. How old is it? 5, 10, and 15. Wait a minute, brother. You've been with this woman 15 years and she don't suit your fancy. You still ain't, he couldn't even explain that. I said, brother, y'all just twist the sister everything the prophet said. Y'all twist the sister everything the prophet said. You quote the prophet, then you add your own dumb stuff to it to make it justified. When you're in a circle of dummies, it sounds all right. The other guy said, I can use that next time. I remember I got caught up in that with Brother Jackson Bay. I was in Chicago. And, so I'm in Chicago, and me and Jackson Bay with the other brother, Double O. So Jackson Bay, come on, I'm gonna buy you something. So we go to, I think it's Popeyes or something. I didn't know Popeye sold catfish. So he gets some catfish. I love catfish. But the prophet said we can't eat it. So Jackson Bay got him a big plate of catfish. I got me some chicken. So I'm sitting across from Jackson Bay like this. We look eye to eye talk. The other brother sitting on the other side of the table. Another table. So the brother looking at me, and man, he put that hot sauce on that chicken, that Louisiana hot sauce. You ever seen them old Bugs Bunny commercials when he smelled that stuff, he just started floating in the air? I just, ooh, bells went off. Jackson Bay said, brother Ryan, if you want some more, if you want some, I'll get you some fish. I said, no, sir. But he ate that fish up, ooh, the catfish. And I told myself, this is what I was telling myself, go ahead, brother, you can eat some catfish. If somebody bring it up with the prophecy, all you got to say is, Jackson Bay was eating it, y'all to say nothing. But then it dawned and said, then the second half of my brain said, but wouldn't that make you a hypocrite because you know it's wrong? I said, no, Jackson. As much as I like it, I can't eat it. Bro. But Jackson Bay finna buy me some more fish on top of my chicken. I had to tell him, brother, I can't do that. See, other people were, brother right here, I could have used him as an excuse. Well, y'all gonna say no, Jackson Bay eat chicken? I mean, eat catfish. But, and then I heard people tell me, well, brother right, the prophet said don't curse, but you curse. I said, brother, I lose some of my salvation to save you or somebody else there. I said, because sometimes y'all say stuff that's so stupid, so anti-God, I can't help myself. I have to curse you out. And I believe to this day, Allah understands why I called you a dumb brick. because you're a dumb brick. Look at these brothers that we know they got killed. What about the ones we don't know? What about the brother? I remember a brother called me in ISIS. This is in 2005. We were still living in the basement. And he was talking to us. I said, well, brother, come on to no, I don't mess with Moses no more. I ain't gonna mess with Moses. Why you calling? He said, I just want to talk for a moment. So he tells me this story. He said him and his wife were going to the house because they had a meeting. And the meeting they had was with Taj Tariq. So the police pulled him over. He pulled off from the police. By the time they got there, the Taj was on the porch waiting for them to come in the house. They opened it up. I said, what happened? He said, the police rushed us, man. We were showing them my paper. They snatched me out the car, took my fez off my head, took my white turban off, had our children with their hands up in there. I said, what? I said, what the Taj didn't do? They didn't do nothing, they just watched. I said, Taj didn't jump up and tell the police, put them guns down? He said, no, sir. I said, I can see why I can't be around no Moors no more. I said, sir, you never was around Moors. You just had people with their names, ill and bad. You had people with our names, ill and bad. How many of y'all going through that now out there and trying to excuse your pain? Trying to excuse your pain. Being a Moorish American gives you no more freedom. If I come from Morocco right now, I got to have a driver's license. The only people that ain't got to have no driver's license from Morocco is the ambassadors. Those that diplomatic. Every citizen does not have diplomatic American. Y'all falling behind these Europeans. Now, the Europeans got diplomatic immunity because they're ready to kill for them. See, the Europeans would throw down. That's why they run the world. If they say this far, they're going to go no farther, that's what they're doing. You have to kill them. But you're afraid of death. Check them, the rise of the dummies. That's what I call them so-called Moors, the rise of the dummies. They're on the highway, surrounded by, but they had sense. They know them Europeans don't play. When you start seeing tanks and not semi-automatic weapons, but automatic weapons, bullet bombs and hand grenades, you change your mind about that dumb stuff. I know I was in prison. They had this booklet they used to give out to the inmates. And on page 4, it says, mind your own business. On page 4, it said, mind your own business. Then further on page 4, it said, if you cause any problem to the system, we will meet you at the gate with bullet bombs and hand grenades. So you hear old Moors saying that from Chicago. That's where they got it from. Out the state manual for prison. They give everybody one. And I was in the cell house one time, and them disciples had got into it with the Latin kings. And it was like 250 disciples. They was under, I forgot this brother's name. I can't recall his name. Popsicle or something like that. And I was so glad I was in my cell. I was in my cell 3 galleries, looking down. This is what I seen. I seen them people come in with orange suits on the gas masks. And they got them sticks that shock you, cattle rods. Man, I seen about, you think they college stuff where everybody getting the phone booth, 15 people getting the phone booth on top of each other. The officer in the tower was shot at somebody. He missed the brother and hit the inmate. I mean, he missed the inmate and hit an officer. All hell broke loose. I ain't never seen so many brothers try to fit in a phone booth. Not only that, when they got through with the people in orange, they got to beating people up with the police bat. I was looking out the window. One of them hit the door. I said, man, I'm just looking. I said, I didn't want them coming over my cell, though, so I just backed up. But this is what I saw. I saw killers. I saw these officers, the people that was out there said, officers say, bend down, get on your hands and knees, and put your nose in the ass of the person, because they made them take all their clothes off. Everybody take their clothes off. They was outside. And I couldn't believe it. Now, some of the tough people that were die hard, they got their butt whooped real quick. They got blades with equipment. They had to carry them down the steps. But everybody else, they put their nose and their ass in front of them and push. Can you imagine a round cell house that holds 500 people? And nearly 300 people out and in a circle. They put their nose in the ass of the man in front of them and push him. I said, man, this is cold blooded now. What's that thing they did in New York? Where they had the people in the yard? Yeah, under siege. I forgot the name of that place. Out something. Let me tell you, Attica. This was cold in Attica. They had the people take all their clothes off, get on their hands and knees, and put their nose in the man's ass in front of them. Now that's got woo and push and push. So-called gangsters and killers. Now there was some gangsters and killers up there, and they got beat up. I ain't put my nose in. Wah, 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 wah. Short conversation. So the things I've seen, I know this man ain't playing with. Y'all may hear something because you got your emotions attached to it. He took my lollipop. He looked at my girlfriend. He bumped into my car. You ready to kill somebody about all that dumb stuff. But stuff that's significant, that's worth losing your life over, you ain't gonna bust a grape. All these brothers with these bulletproof vests on, looking like they something. Let me see if I can find their picture. As a moment, look and see if they're up there. You know. Yeah, buddy. Your women walk around half naked, and you're all right with that. The European that train you like you train his dog. You're all right with that dumb stuff. Y'all used to listen to stuff like this. Listen to this.
Nationality. People, their nationality, native and Greek. They may know that they are part and parcel of this government. You know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these things were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era time now. All men now must proclaim
well, I want to get it. What are you talking about? True Allah. Yeah, you talking about true Allah. I don't know what's wrong with my phone now. But they got a Drew Allah now. Yeah, I'm talking about.
For the sake of time, we on time. It's just not our house. It's not on that. For the sake of time, I want to target the children. And the parents of the children. That we still proud. And it should be our objective to try to come up from under being proud. What I mean by proud. We still belong to the slave hold. Anybody caught in that gospel out there? We still belong to the slave hold. Because he never got compensated for his shut down profit.
Okay.
Should be concerned about their children as far as prophecy is concerned. The prophet came to America to make us better citizens after he traveled around the world. He said that. He said to make us better citizens. He didn't say to make us radicals or anything to the contrary, but to make us better citizens. How could he do that? How could he do that? By putting us back into the constitutional fold. We are not citizens. Most Americans are not even true citizens yet, individually. We are citizens according to the corporation, or the protections that we have is through the corporation. The corporation is the citizen. So our people must be taught that we got a gigantic problem, and that is citizenship. As long as we don't tackle that issue, guess what? We still belong to the slaveholder because he didn't get compensated. Who the slaveholder? Them same ones in that Senate is confirming this judge Kavanaugh tomorrow morning. The Southerners who were at that time in rebellion against the constitutional government, which was called Union. Why are most Americans targeting more people about citizenship? Right. You want to debate about Mohammedanism and Islamism? Islamism is how the prophet brought it. He couldn't bring us Mohammedanism. He brought us Islamism, knowing that if he had brought us Mohammedanism, they would have had him up. Because Mohammedanism is considered in the West to be radical, midline, for example. But there's many umbrellas to Wahhabism, which the general term of Wahhabism is what? Like the master said, Islamism. Islamism is the perfect red light covering what? Oh, that's because the prophet didn't bring us here to turn us back over to traditional Islam. We called the dawn and our what? Do a hands up. That's right. Personal prayer. One said his own words. He didn't bring us here to make us Muslims. He separated us from MU and MO. Read the book. He separated us. He said, we are not Muslims, we are Asiatic Muslims. The prophet said. The prophet said, we want to return back to what we was called before 1774. What are Muslims talking about that? Our women, our children are suffering because of us. We're supposed to leave something better for every generation coming behind us like the Europeans do. Well, we know so much about the Jews, guess what they did? At the age of 9, they take the daughter and show the daughter how to be a woman child. At the age of 12, the man take the man child and teach him to cry from a man. What we do for our children. I'm not saying all of us, but what we do as a people for our children collectively, man. That's what we do ask in of them. And he talked to them. But we suffer from abuse and the middle slavery, even in North America. They expected more signs of America. The master came, got the solution, put it on the rock. Everybody want to question it. He said, you look on the back of this with a clean heart, and you will say, who? That's right. Who's the first person into Jesus really congregated? Well, how are they different? How are they different? They not different. The scribes, the Sadducees, and the Pharisees had a great critique. Why? Because at the age of one, he was called.
That's enough for y'all right now. When I report stuff like that, So I can sit and watch it later on.
Money just popped out. So are you?
You know, he's right on a multitude of points because y'all don't want the truth. Y'all want something that's good for you that you got from the European. Y'all like little starving children looking in the window. And like you ain't never had candy before, you never had this before. And y'all do anything to put your little greasy lips on. Y'all don't even know why the prophet stood up and said, I hereby declare you a nation. Y'all don't even understand that. Y'all don't know the procedures and stuff he went through for that. Y'all not even following the blueprint laid by the prophet. The prophet said, "My good Lord still in church." What did that mean? I was a good Lord in church. Because I understood what Jesus and them said. I understood the practice. I understood what we should have. Then when I got to the temple, I'm saying y'all don't have it. Y'all got 25 prophets. How y'all get 25 prophets? Prophet 1, 2, 3. And the thing that got me is I met both of them prophets. I didn't meet John Given Hill, but I met Richard Dingleton Hill, Prophet Noble Joe Ali number 2. I met Timothy Dingleton, Prophet Noble Joe Ali in his air time, lost soul. I even got the minutes from their convention where nobody believed in them. In their own grand body. They had to leave the grand body they was in to start a new thing. I was debating with some people that had MSN up there as a computer site before they had Facebook and stuff. Brother told me, yeah, see, Timothy D. Will's wife, she can go along with the program, the new program, so we had to leave her behind. I said, how y'all got a new program other than her husband? How y'all get beyond her husband? Y'all weren't even there. Y'all do stuff to please your niggerism. Y'all do stuff to please your Lord self. But we're going to get ready to close out in 10 minutes because all my challenges, because one brother said this here. Well, you know, Islam, the Catholic Church formed Islam. The Catholic Church. I said, the Catholic Church did what? They made up Islam. I'm like, okay. Why don't you come on my show and let's talk about that? You gonna say the Catholic Church made Islam up. Now this what gets me. It's the same Catholic Church that say take them niggas as slaves. You ain't talking about that. You Negroes, colored blacks, Ethiopian, African American, jigaboos, and etc. Y'all believe the church when they say they made up Islam. But y'all ain't saying nothing about the same church made you Negro, colored black, and Ethiopian. The same Pope say go get them niggas to the Spaniards and the Portuguese. Why do you think America speaks Spanish? What do you think for? And the demarcation line of America is between who? The Spaniards and the Portuguese. But y'all don't see nothing because y'all don't know nothing. The reason you don't know nothing because your teachers ain't teaching you nothing. That brother spent all that time, but he did, I have to say, he did touch on some serious issues. For example, Trump is pushing through 5, 6 other states a challenge about citizenship, 14th Amendment. What y'all gonna do about that? His people are pushing against that. Y'all can't even decide what y'all can call yourself day to day. Y'all just doing nationality, the order of the day. It's going to become the order of the day, all right? Trump win this, the order of the day is going to be ship you out. Where you going to? If he can't ship you out, he's going to put you in prison camp. When you get to the prison camp, that was the 14th Amendment did. The 13th Amendment. Y'all ain't noticed that? He ain't talking about the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment made it lawful for them to have slaves. So now if you fail to live up to the free national standard of the government in which you're in, they can make you slaves. Woo! A couple years back, I tried something, but I didn't get it right because I didn't go by the rules of the Supreme Court. But this year I'm going. I need y'all's support. I need finance. I need finance badly. I'm needing at least $50,000 to do what I got to do. And I guarantee you, it's going to shock the world. And I'm guaranteed they're going to say this here. Man, we weren't ready for that. All the Negro NAACP people are going to be crying about this. Watch what I say. I see it. I see it. But anyway, Governor, anybody on there yet? Anybody ask no question? Most of my people, okay. For our brothers and sisters, I thank you. It is a pleasure to serve you by night and by day. It is a pleasure for me to represent you. It is a pleasure for me to step forward in Allah's holy name through his holy prophet, True Ali, to represent us as a people. It is a clear blessing. Like I said, I need about $50,000 altogether to file paperwork, documents, etc., and to draw up stuff. Have stuff made. I'm asking for your help. I'm working on add their books and stuff now. Now I'm letting you know that when I get them like I want them, I'm gonna put them on open market. But you gotta prove you're an adept. If you prove you're an adept, you can buy a book. I add that book. You can't buy a sheep book. You can't buy a minister book, but you can buy the adept book. Because y'all don't know enough about adepts. Truly. What they say in the movie, Julie. So, we're going to close out. I'm going to do this for an hour. From now, as of December, it'll be the first week and the third week of December. We have is Only the Truth Be Told. Because only the truth be told if you listen. A lot of y'all have snuck on the show. You got these alias names and stuff, so you can just hear it, so you can have some stuff to steal and go back and tell that devil. Yo, devil, oh, I got this now. I can arm myself with this. But anyway, I'm going to say Islam. Bismillah. May Allah be pleased with your good. Islam. Be quiet.
The controversy. We're talking about the controversy. The controversy. What is this? Today we're talking about the controversy. The controversy. The chief minister ain't this. The chief minister that. I didn't form nothing. All I did was continue what was trying to be discontinued. 1995, Supreme Grand Council, that is, stood up and say the proper grand body is no more. And I said, no, Joe, that won't go. No, Joe, that won't go. That won't go. And I said I would continue on. They said, well, brother, right here, we're going to make you the Supreme member of the Supreme Grand Council. I say, all is well with that idea. But guess what? The grand body still is. The grand body still is the controversy. We're talking about the controversy. The controversy. The controversy, the controversy, the controversy.